Hi, Nancy. So tell me your 4-H story. How did you get involved in the 4-H program, and how did you get to the point where you're at today?
Well, hi, Alex. How I got involved with 4-H, I never knew anything about 4-H. I was an urban kid growing up in Bucks County, and I had no idea what 4-H was about. But my youngest daughter wanted to go into veterinary medicine. She was always interested in animals from a little girl on up. So when she was about 11 years old, one of our parents, or her grandparent, her grandfather, saw an article that there was a veterinary science class. So we signed up for the veterinary science class, which she loved, and they hauled some beautiful animals in. They brought horses. They had a man who ran a kennel talking to the veterinary science kids, and she had a really good experience with that, and from there it expanded. And then my other daughter was interested in 4-H and joined. So that was my very first experience with 4-H, the first time I knew anything about 4-H and what 4-H was teaching youth. And then from there, the daughter that took the veterinary science classes ended up joining 5 different 4-H clubs. She raised cows through a no money lease program that we have in Bucks County. She raised sheep, she raised chickens, poultry, and belonged to community clubs. And her older sister also belonged to community clubs, both doing very different projects or activities because they had very different interests. So that was my introduction to 4-H.
Wow. So for those who are outside of the 4-H program, who are looking at it from the outside, tell me about what you do.
What I do as a 4-H educator?
Yes.
Okay, well, I probably have the best job in the world because I get to work with kids, all ages 8 through 18, in all kinds of settings, whether it be rural kids, urban kids, inner city kids. I get the opportunity to work with them. My job is to oversee the 4-H program in Bucks County, and that includes the traditional 4-H clubs. As you know, we have many, over 30 clubs. Some of those are area specific, such as a horse club or a dairy club, and some are a generic club, such as a community club. And then in addition to that, I also have the privilege of working with the teen council, and those are members made up of all the different clubs that are allowed to belong to the teen council. And we do, with that group, we do so many larger things or bigger things, county-wide events, as you are aware as a teen council advisor. And I also have the opportunity to work with after-school programs and day camps and overnight camps. And there's something that's specific that I do in Bucks County that is unique to the 4-H program in Pennsylvania. I work with those youth that are juvenile offenders and teach life skills.
That's
my
great.
job. It is great. Pretty lucky, huh?
Yeah, definitely. So how does 4-H prepare its members for the outside world? What skills do they have? What do they learn? And can you give me an example?
Oh, I can give you hundreds of examples, Alex. 4-H prepares youth for the outside world in so many ways. When they're doing their projects, they're learning and they're exploring career possibilities. So that's an excellent opportunity for youth today. When they have completed their projects, they actually have to do presentations, as you probably did when you were a 4-H member. And that gives them the skills to teach others what they've learned, so it reinforces their learning, and also they get to present publicly. It gives them self-confidence, public speaking skills, which we emphasize in 4-H. Our 4-H clubs elect officers. So all of our 4-H members get to learn civic education and responsibility. They learn the responsibilities of the office's president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, news reporter. And they get to practice that in the club meetings. They also follow Robert's Rule of Order, so they learn how to run a traditional business meeting. And that's a great life skill in any industry that they go into. I also think that they mentor. The older kids mentor the younger members so that they are teaching and learning how to teach others and care for others. In addition to all of that, our 4-H members learn a sense of competition and how to compete fairly and have some competition along with sportsmanship in the projects when they compete, whether it be at state days or within their clubs at the fairs. So there's so many things that 4-H teaches youth in life skills and for future.
That's great. So looking at your daughters now, since they were involved in the 4-H program, so what do you see in them? How do you think 4-H benefited them?
Oh, 4-H benefited my daughters in so many ways, countless ways. Where they are in their lives right now, they both are in careers that they chose through 4-H. My one daughter works in veterinary medicine. That was her focus when she was in 4-H. And she had all that great hands-on experience working with cows and sheep and chickens. And my older daughter is a marketing and logistics major, and she got the experience of presenting herself, being able to speak publicly, which is what she needs to do in sales and marketing. So she has that confidence. I also think that 4-H, because we are community oriented and we do require community service in 4-H, they have a great sense of that now as adults, and they're certainly contributing in their communities. Our daughter that's in veterinary, she works with a lot of the homeless or placement shelters for animals. And our daughter that's in marketing in another state now, she is in Rotary. She's a Rotary member and works in her community in Annapolis, Maryland. So I think there are so many skills that they have taken from the 4-H program that have certainly gotten them to their career goals and also fulfilled them personally and helping their communities too.
So looking at the general scope of the 4-H program, how does it target those who are in the city and other urban areas?
Well, the 4-H program, many people I know, and you realize this too when you were in 4-H, people believe that it's just for farm kids. But it is so much more, and we know that. 4-H teaches leadership skills, and there's leadership opportunities, and we take that into inner city. We also take it into the urban counties. And Bucks County has a very large urban component, but we have the largest 4-H program. Mm-hmm. So we certainly are addressing that. I think also the fact that we're not just animals. We do have so many other projects. As I always say, you've heard me say this, Alex, A to Z, archery to zippers, and everything in between. And that includes civic education, all of electricity, woodworking, foods industry, and also entomology. So anything you can think of a youth can take, and that can benefit our urban youth. Also, our urban youth can get some great experience and learning about where their food comes from in agriculture through the 4-H program.
Thank you very much for your time, Nancy.
Thanks, Alex. Always a pleasure.